The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened 3 hours after the demonstration. The great chamber buzzed with nervous energy as representatives from 12 species tried to process what they had witnessed. Some whispered among themselves in languages that sounded like music or static. Others sat in stunned silence. Council Speaker Vorthak stood at the center podium, his skin cycling through colors that betrayed his inner turmoil. For 30 years, he had argued that humans were too dangerous for galactic society. Now he faced the possibility that they were so advanced that opposing them was futile. Fellow council members, he began, his voice uncertain for the first time in decades. We have seen a demonstration of human military capability that challenges everything we thought we knew about warfare and technology. Trade Minister Quilana rose from her section. Speaker Vorthak, the humans could have destroyed both fleets without effort. Instead, they chose to disable them without causing a single casualty. This is not the behavior of savage conquerors. General I. Krex, the massive stone-like warrior, slammed his fist on his platform. It's a trick. They show mercy now to make us lower our guard. Once we accept them, they will reveal their true nature. General, said Mystic Oracle Thal, her energy form, pulsing with contemplation. I sense no deception from the humans. Their minds are strange to us, yes, but they are not evil. They think in ways we do not understand, but their intentions seem genuine. Counselor Vex, the mechanical representative, projected holographic displays. I have analyzed the technical data the humans transmitted. Their weapon technology is at least 500 years ahead of our most advanced systems. If they wanted to conquer us, we could not stop them. In the human section, Ambassador Park Soo-jin waited nervously. Commander Choi and his officers had returned to their ship, but she could feel the weight of 12 alien species' attention focused on her small delegation. Supreme Admiral Corvin had been invited to address the council. The veteran warrior stood before the assembly, his forearms gesturing as he spoke. Honored council members, I have fought in 47 major battles across 6 different galaxies. I have never seen technology like what the humans possess. But more importantly, I have never seen such restraint from a species with overwhelming power. He paused, looking around the chamber. They could have humiliated us. They could have destroyed us. Instead, they proved their point and offered to help repair our ships. This is not the action of conquerors. Council Speaker Vorthak struggled with his decision. Everything he had believed about humans was crumbling. But their expansion into space has been aggressive. Their history is filled with warfare. Commander, Choi's voice came through the communication system from the Baekdu. Speaker Vorthak, you are correct that human history contains much violence, but it also contains something else, the ability to learn and change. On the main display, images appeared showing human colonies and stations. Every world we have settled was uninhabited. Every base we have built was for defense against pirates and raiders. We have never displaced another species or destroyed their homes. Dr. Yoon's voice joined the transmission. Speaker Vorthak, your people and others have criticized humans for studying alien technology. But consider this. In 50 years, we took your basic designs and improved them beyond your wildest imagination. What could we accomplish if we worked together instead of in opposition? The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. If humans could make such advances while working alone and with limited resources, what could they achieve with access to the combined knowledge of 12 species? Engineer Nam's voice came through next. Honored Council, we have transmitted the complete technical specifications for our adaptive shielding technology. This is a gift to show our good intentions. With this technology, your ships will be nearly invulnerable to the weapons that pirates and raiders use. Communications Officer O spoke up. We have also prepared cultural exchange programs. We want to learn about your peoples, your art, your philosophies, and we want to share our own. Trade Minister Quilana was the first to respond. This is unprecedented. No species has ever shared advanced military technology freely. We are not giving you our most advanced weapons, Lieutenant Commander Kang clarified. But we are sharing defensive systems that will save lives and protect the innocent. This is what partners do. The debate continued for hours. Some species remained suspicious, but the balance was shifting. The smaller, weaker members of the council began to see humans as potential protectors rather than threats. Counselor Mel, representing the peaceful botanical collective, spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. The humans offer us protection from those who would harm us. For centuries we have lived in fear of raiders and aggressive species. Perhaps it is time to accept help. Dr. Yoon transmitted another data package. Council members, we are also sharing our medical technology. We have developed treatments for genetic diseases that affect several of your species. These are gifts, not bargaining tools. The tide turned when Mystic Oracle Thal made her pronouncement. As the spiritual leader of one of the galaxy's oldest species, her words carried enormous weight. I have meditated on this question for many hours, she said, her energy form brightening. The humans are different from us. Their minds work in ways that seem chaotic and unpredictable, but I sense great potential for good. They may be exactly what our galaxy needs. Council Speaker Vorthak realized that the mood in the chamber had changed completely. The species that had been demanding human rejection an hour ago were now arguing for acceptance. Very well, he said finally. We will vote. All in favor of granting humanity full membership in the Galactic Council? The vote was not even close. 10 species voted in favor, with only General Krex's warrior caste voting against. 1 species abstained. The motion passes, Vorthak announced. Humanity is hereby granted full membership in the Galactic Council, with all rights and responsibilities thereof. Ambassador Park Soo-jin felt tears streaming down her face. After 5 years of negotiations and 30 years of waiting, humanity had finally been accepted as equals. But Commander Choi's voice brought everyone back to reality. Honored Council, we accept membership gratefully, but we must address an immediate crisis. Our intelligence indicates that several species have already dispatched fleets to attack human colonies. We must work together to prevent unnecessary bloodshed. Supreme Admiral Corvin stepped forward. Commander Choi, I hereby place Battle Group Omega under Joint Human Council command. We will send immediate messages to all attacking fleets, ordering them to stand down. Thank you, Admiral, Choi replied. The Baekdu will escort your ships to ensure safe passage. It's time to demonstrate what our alliance can accomplish. 6 months later, the galaxy had transformed in ways no one could have predicted. The Joint Defense Fleet, with the Baekdu as its flagship, had ended piracy in 3 major star systems. Human medical technology had saved millions of lives across dozens of worlds. Cultural exchange programs had created friendships between species that had been enemies for centuries. Commander Choi now served as the first human admiral in the Joint Fleet. Dr. Yoon had established research partnerships with alien scientists, leading to technological breakthroughs that benefited everyone. Engineer Nam had helped upgrade the propulsion systems of the entire Council fleet, making them faster and more efficient than ever before. Communications Officer Oh had founded the Galactic Cultural Institute, where beings from dozens of species learned about each other's histories, arts, and philosophies. Lieutenant Commander Kang had developed new defensive technologies that protected merchant ships from raiders throughout the galaxy. Ambassador Park Soo-jin had been elected to serve as the Council's first rotating speaker, representing all species, equally rather than favoring any single faction. But perhaps the most important change was in the schools and universities throughout Council space. For the first time in galactic history, children from different species learned together, played together, and formed friendships that crossed all biological and cultural boundaries. The galaxy had learned that humans were indeed different from other species. They were more aggressive, more chaotic, more unpredictable, but they were also more creative, more adaptive, and more willing to sacrifice for others. The aliens had expected Earth to send diplomats to beg for acceptance. Instead, Earth had sent equals who demanded respect. The aliens had feared human weapons and technology. Instead, they discovered human wisdom and restraint. Council Speaker Vorthak, now one of humanity's strongest supporters, often reflected on the lesson learned that day. The most dangerous species in the galaxy were not those with the biggest weapons or the strongest armies. They were those with the wisdom to know when not to use their power. The Becdu still patrolled the galaxy, no longer as a lone human ship, but as the symbol of what different species could accomplish when they worked together. Its crew had become legends not for their ability to destroy, but for their choice to protect and preserve. Earth had not sent diplomats to the Galactic Council. They had sent something far more valuable. Teachers who showed the galaxy that true strength came not from the power to destroy but from the wisdom to build something better. Battle Group Omega emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of metal predators. 50 of the galaxy's most advanced warships arranged themselves in perfect formation around Nexus Prime. At their center was the massive command ship Galactic Supremacy, a vessel so large it could be seen from the station's observation decks without magnification. Supreme Admiral Corvin stood on the bridge of his flagship, studying the tactical display. He was a veteran commander from a species called the Dominators, beings who had conquered half their home galaxy before joining the Council. His four arms moved constantly as he analyzed the situation, each hand controlling different ship systems. "So," he said in his deep, rumbling voice, "this is the human ship that has caused so much trouble." His tactical officer, a crystalline being named Zack, flickered with nervous energy. "Admiral, our sensors are having difficulty analyzing their technology. The ship appears to be generating impossible power levels." "All ships appear impossible until you understand how they work," Corvin replied. "Signal the human vessel. I want to speak with their commander." On the Becdu, Commander Choi received the incoming communication. Around him, his crew worked with calm efficiency, preparing for what might be their final battle. "This is Supreme. Admiral Corvin of Battle Group Omega," came the alien voice. "You are surrounded by the finest warships in the galaxy. You have one chance to surrender peacefully." Choi activated the response channel. "Admiral Corvin, I am Commander Choi Min-ho of the Earth vessel Becdu. Before we discuss surrender, perhaps you should ask Admiral Zorthex how his fleet fared against us." Corvin looked at his communication officer. "Get me a report from the disabled ships." A few minutes later, the reports came in. 28 ships disabled without a single casualty. Weapons that could pass through any defense. Technology that seemed to defy the known laws of physics. "Impressive," Corvin admitted. "But you defeated a patrol fleet. I command the elite forces of 12 species. We are not so easily overcome." "Admiral," Choi replied, "we do not wish to fight you, but you are giving us little choice." Corvin's laugh boomed across the communication channel. "Little human, you have courage. I respect that. But courage alone cannot overcome superior numbers and firepower." On Nexus Prime, the Council members watched the confrontation with growing tension. Some hoped that Battle Group Omega would finally end the human threat. Others began to worry about what might happen if the humans defeated this fleet as well. Ambassador Park Soo-jin stood in the observation area, her heart pounding. She knew that Commander Choi was about to make a decision that would change everything. "All ships," Corvin commanded. "Prepare for maximum bombardment. I want that human ship reduced to atoms." Dr. Yoon Hae-rin checked her instruments one final time. "Commander, the equalizer is fully charged and ready." "Are you certain about the range calculations?" Choi asked. "The field will disable every ship. Within 50,000 kilometers," she confirmed. "That includes the entire enemy fleet and some of the station's systems. And our ship? We'll be immune. The equalizer is designed to recognize human technology signatures." Choi nodded. "Very well. Open a channel to Admiral Corvin." "Admiral," Choi said, "you have demanded our surrender. We offer you the same courtesy. Withdraw your fleet now and no one will be harmed." Corvin's response was immediate. "Impossible. You are outnumbered 50 to 1. Numbers mean nothing when you don't understand what you're fighting," Choi replied. "This is your final warning." "All ships, open fire," Corvin commanded. 50 alien warships unleashed their weapons simultaneously. The space around the Becdu became an inferno of energy beams, plasma bolts, and exotic matter projectiles. The attack was so intense that it temporarily blinded sensors throughout the star system. But engineer Nam Tae-hyuk had been preparing for this moment. The Baekdu's adaptive shields had learned from the previous battle, and the ship's power systems had been modified to handle massive energy inputs. Shields holding, Nam reported calmly. Power levels now at 200%. We could probably run the ship's systems for a year on the energy they're giving us. The alien bombardment continued for 10 minutes. When it finally stopped, the alien commanders expected to see nothing but debris where the human ship had been. Instead, the Baekdu hung in space completely undamaged, its hull gleaming as if it had just been polished. Impossible, Corvin shouted. No ship can withstand that much firepower. Admiral, Choi said calmly, you still don't understand. We are not like you. We do not follow the same rules you follow. Communications Officer Oh Ji-hoon had been monitoring alien fleet communications. Commander, they're preparing for a second bombardment. This time they're going to use planet-killer weapons. Choi looked at Dr. Yoon. Doctor, activate the equalizer. Dr. Yoon placed her hand on a special control panel. Are you sure, Commander? Once we do this, there's no hiding what we're capable of. They've made their choice, Choi replied. Now we make ours. The equalizer activated. From the outside, nothing seemed to happen. There was no visible beam, no explosion, no flash of light. But across 50,000 kilometers of space, every alien ship suddenly went dark. On the bridge of the Galactic Supremacy, Supreme Admiral Corvin watched in horror as his instruments went dead. Lights failed, engines stopped, weapons powered down, and life support systems switched to emergency backup power. What's happening? He demanded. His technical officer, a mechanical being called Unit 47, ran diagnostic after diagnostic. Admiral, all of our primary systems have been shut down. It's as if someone turned off a switch. Get them back online. I'm trying, but the shutdown was controlled and precise. Whoever did this knows our technology better than we do. The same scene was, repeated across the entire alien fleet. 50 of the most advanced warships in the galaxy had been rendered helpless in an instant, without a single shot being fired at them. On Nexus Prime, the council chamber fell silent. Every alien representative stared at the tactical displays in disbelief. How is this possible? Whispered Trade Minister Kolana. Commander Choi's voice echoed through the communication systems. Honored council members, what you have just witnessed is a demonstration of human restraint. The weapon we used could have destroyed every ship in your fleet instantly. Instead, we chose to simply disable them. Supreme Admiral Corvin found his voice. Human Commander, what have you done to my ships? We have shown you the difference between power and wisdom. Choi replied. Your ships are undamaged. Your crews are unharmed. In exactly 60 seconds, all of your systems will come back online. Lieutenant Commander Kang So-young monitored the alien ships carefully. All vessels showing normal life support. No casualties detected. Communications Officer O opened channels to each disabled ship. This is the human vessel Baekdu. We are transmitting repair frequencies to restore your systems. Please stand by. As promised, exactly 60 seconds later, the alien ships began to come back online. Lights returned, engines hummed to life, and weapon systems reactivated. But none of the alien commanders gave orders to attack. They had seen something that changed their understanding of warfare forever. Admiral Corvin, Choi said quietly, you demanded proof of our capabilities. We could have destroyed your entire fleet without breaking our stride. We could have killed 50,000 crew members with the press of a button. Instead, we chose to demonstrate our power without causing harm. Corvin stared at the human ship with new respect and fear. What do you want from us? We want what we have always wanted, Choi replied. To be treated as equals, to join your council as partners, not subjects, to contribute our knowledge and abilities to the betterment of all species. On Nexus Prime, Council Speaker Vorthak struggled to process what he had witnessed. His entire worldview had been shattered in the space of an hour. The humans, he said slowly, could have conquered us all. But they didn't, observed Trade Minister Quilana. They chose mercy. Dr. Yoon transmitted technical data to the alien fleets. Admiral Corvin, we are sending you information about the weapon we just used. The range can be scaled up dramatically. Theoretically, we could disable every ship in the galaxy simultaneously. The implications were staggering. If the humans could disable any fleet, anywhere at any time, then the entire balance of galactic power had shifted in an instant. Why are you telling us this? Corvin asked. Because, Commander Choi replied, we want you to understand that we choose cooperation over domination. We have the power to rule this galaxy by force. We choose partnership instead. The 60 seconds felt like an eternity to the alien crews. When their systems finally came back online, many of them realized they had been holding their breath. Supreme Admiral Corvin looked around his restored bridge and made a decision that would change galactic history. All ships, stand down. Do not fire on the human vessel. Admiral, his tactical officer asked in confusion. They could have killed us all, Corvin said quietly. Instead, they gave us our lives back. That is not the action of an enemy. He opened a channel to Nexus Prime. Council Speaker Vorthak, I recommend we reconsider the human application for membership. Chaos erupted in the council chamber as alien sensors detected the massive energy surge from the human ship. Warning lights flashed throughout Nexus Prime, and emergency alarms began blaring in a dozen different frequencies. Station Commander Xiphon's worst fears were confirmed. I knew it, he shouted over the noise. That ship is a warship. Council Speaker Vorthak's skin had turned completely black with rage. Treachery. The humans have brought weapons into our neutral space, but Commander Choi remained perfectly calm. Speaker Vorthak, we brought exactly what you asked for. You wanted to see proof of our capabilities. Now you're seeing it. On the Baekdu, Dr. Yoon Hae-rin worked quickly at her control station. Hidden panels throughout the ship slid open, revealing weapon systems that had been invisible moments before. The ship's hull reconfigured itself, transforming from a peaceful diplomatic vessel into something that looked like it had been designed in nightmares. All systems online, she reported to Commander Choi through their secure communication link. We're reading 30 incoming ships on attack vectors. Through the station's massive viewing windows, alien vessels could be seen approaching rapidly. They came from 6 different species, each ship designed according to their race's philosophy of war. The crystalline ships of the technocracy sparkled like deadly jewels. The organic vessels of the bio-collective pulsed with living tissue. The mechanical warships of the Industrial Union bristled with weapons. Lieutenant Commander Kang So-young studied the approaching fleet through the Baekdu's advanced sensors. Impressive, she said to Engineer Nam Tae-hyuk. 30 ships, each one capable of destroying a city. Too bad they have no idea what they're facing. The lead ship was a massive dreadnought called the Eternal Dominion. Its commander, Fleet Admiral Zorthex, opened communications to both the station and the human ship. Human vessel, you will power down all weapons and surrender immediately. You are surrounded and outgunned. Resistance is futile. Commander Choi's response was broadcast throughout the station. Admiral Zorthex, you are making a mistake. We did not come here to fight, but if you insist on combat, we will oblige you. You have 1 ship against 30, Zorthex replied. You cannot possibly win, Admiral, Choi said quietly. You still don't understand what you're dealing with. The battle began when the alien fleet opened fire. Energy beams, plasma bolts, and gravitational weapons converged on the Baekdu from all directions. The attack was overwhelming, designed to vaporize any normal ship instantly. But the Baekdu was not a normal ship. Engineer Nam Tae-hyuk had designed the most advanced power distribution system ever created. As the alien weapons struck, the ship's adaptive shields absorbed the energy and redistributed it throughout the vessel's systems. The more the aliens fired, the stronger the Baekdu became. Shields at 120%, Nam reported calmly. We're actually gaining power from their attacks. Dr. Yoon activated the ship's quantum torpedoes. These weapons didn't simply fly through space like normal missiles. They existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, allowing them to phase through alien shields as if those shields didn't exist. The first torpedo struck the bio-collective ship Organic Fury. The weapon didn't explode in a traditional sense. Instead, it created a field that disrupted the ship's living systems, causing all biological components to fall asleep. The ship drifted helplessly, its crew unconscious but unharmed. Direct hit on Target 1, Lieutenant Commander Kang reported. Ship disabled, crew alive. Communications Officer Oh Ji-hoon opened a channel to the alien fleet. Admiral Zorthex, we have disabled one of your ships without killing anyone. This is not an accident. We choose not to kill you. The alien commander was confused and angry. Impossible! Our sensors show that ship was destroyed. Check again, Oh replied. Your crew is asleep, not dead. We can wake them up anytime we choose. This revelation sent shockwaves through the alien fleet. Their weapons were designed to kill efficiently. The idea of disabling enemies without harming them was completely foreign to their thinking. But Admiral Zorthex was not deterred. All ships concentrate fire on the human vessel. Destroy it completely. The alien fleet unleashed everything they had, weapons that could crack planets focused on the single human ship. The energy output was so intense that it created artificial aurora effects in the space around Nexus Prime. Engineer Nam Tae-hyuk watched his instruments with professional interest. Power levels now at 150%. Their attacks are making us stronger. Dr. Yoon launched a second wave of quantum torpedoes. Each weapon sought out a different target, phasing through shields and armor to reach the critical systems inside each ship. One by one, alien vessels went dark as their power systems were safely shut down. That's 5 ships disabled, Kang reported. Still no casualties. The alien commanders were becoming desperate. They had never encountered weapons that could ignore their defenses, or an enemy that chose to spare their lives. This is impossible, shouted Captain Vex of the technocracy ship Crystal Blade. Our shields are impenetrable. Your shields are impressive, Communications Officer O replied. But they're designed to stop weapons that follow the rules of normal physics. Our weapons don't follow those rules. On Nexus Prime, the Council members watched in stunned silence as their most powerful warships were systematically disabled by a single human vessel. Some species began to reconsider their positions. Perhaps, Trade Minister Quilana said quietly, we have underestimated human capabilities. But Council Speaker Vorthak was furious. This proves they are too dangerous. They must be destroyed before they can threaten the entire galaxy. Ambassador Park Soo-jin stood up. Honored Council, the humans could have destroyed every one of those ships. They chose mercy instead. Is this the behavior of savage monsters? The battle continued for another hour. The Baekdu moved through the alien fleet like a dancer, always one step ahead of their attacks. Its adaptive shields learned from each weapon that hit them, becoming immune to that type of damage. Its quantum torpedoes struck with perfect precision, disabling ships without harming crews. By the end of the engagement, 28 alien ships had been disabled. Only 2 remained active. Admiral Zorthex's flagship and a small scout ship that had wisely stopped firing. Admiral, Commander Choi said over the communication channel, you have 2 choices. You can continue this futile attack, or you can listen to what we have to say. Zorthex was a warrior from a species that respected strength above all else. Seeing his entire fleet defeated by a single enemy ship filled him with a grudging admiration. Human commander, you have proven your ship's capabilities. But this changes nothing. More fleets are coming. You cannot fight the entire galaxy. Admiral, Choi replied. We don't want to fight the galaxy. We want to join it as equals. But if the galaxy insists on treating us as enemies, we will respond accordingly. Dr. Yoon received new sensor readings. Commander, we have a problem. Long range, sensors are detecting a massive fleet approaching, 50 ships including several dreadnoughts. Communications Officer O monitored alien military channels. It's Battle Group Omega, the Council's elite military force. They're being led by Supreme Admiral Corvin himself. Commander Choi studied the tactical display. 50 ships was a significant challenge even for the Baekdu, but he had prepared for this possibility. Dr. Yoon, prepare the equalizer. Sir, are you sure? Once we use that weapon, there's no going back. I'm sure. It's time to show them what human restraint really looks like. In the council chamber, the aliens watched their reinforcements approach. Many felt relieved that soon the human threat would be ended. But a few, like Trade Minister Quilana and some of the smaller species representatives, began to wonder if they were making a terrible mistake. The humans had just proven they could defeat the Council's best warships without killing anyone. What would happen when an even larger fleet attacked them? They were about to find out. The Baekdu approached Nexus Prime like any other diplomatic vessel. Its engines hummed quietly, its hull gleamed white in the starlight, and its communication systems broadcast peaceful intentions in 12 different alien languages. To the watching alien sensors, it appeared to be exactly what Earth claimed it was, a ship carrying diplomats. But Station Commander Xiphon was not convinced. Xiphon belonged to a species called the hive minds. He looked like a giant insect with multiple eyes and antennae that could detect energy patterns invisible to most other species. His kind had evolved to sense danger, and right now, every instinct he possessed was screaming warnings. There is something wrong with that ship, he told his second-in-command. Wrong how, Commander? Asked his aide. The energy signature is too clean, too perfect. No ship produces power patterns that's smooth unless it's designed for war. Xiphon sent a message to the Council. Honored members, I recommend we scan the human vessel more thoroughly before allowing it to dock. But Council Speaker Vorthak was impatient. Commander, we have already delayed this meeting for 3 days. The humans are here for their final chance. Let them dock immediately. Reluctantly, Xiphon gave docking permission to the Baekdu. But he kept his sensors trained on the ship, watching for any sign of deception. Commander Choi Minho stood on the bridge as his ship settled into the docking bay. Around him, his crew worked with quiet efficiency. Everything appeared normal, but he could feel the tension in the air. Communications officer. Oh, he said. Any word from Ambassador Park? Yes, sir, Oh Ji-hoon replied. She's waiting in docking bay 7. She says the political situation has gotten worse since we left Earth. Choi nodded. He had expected as much. Dr. Yoon, status of our special systems? All hidden systems are operating normally, Dr. Yoon reported. The aliens' scans are detecting exactly what we want them to detect. As far as they know, we're carrying nothing more dangerous than diplomatic gifts. Good. Let's go meet our hosts. Ambassador Park Soo-jin was waiting when Choi and his senior officers disembarked. She looked tired and worried, but she managed a smile when she saw them. Commander Choi, welcome to Nexus Prime. I wish I could say the circumstances were better. How bad is it, Ambassador? Choi asked quietly. Worse than we feared. Several species have already voted in private sessions. They're not planning to give us a fair hearing. This whole process is just for show. They walked through the station's corridors toward the diplomatic quarters. The station was enormous, with sections designed for dozens of different species. Some areas were filled with thick atmosphere for species that breathed gases toxic to humans. Other areas were underwater or in complete darkness. What about the military situation? Asked Lieutenant Commander Kang. Park's face darkened. Bad. General Krex has convinced several species that humans are an immediate threat. They're mobilizing fleets as we speak. If these negotiations fail, they plan to attack our colonies within days. Communications officer. Oh looked around nervously. Ambassador, are we safe here? For now. The station has strict neutrality laws. But once we leave... Park shrugged. They reached the diplomatic quarters, where Park briefed them on the alien species they would face. She showed them holographic images and cultural files, explaining the politics and prejudices of each council member. Vorthak is your biggest enemy, she explained. He genuinely believes humans are a threat to galactic peace. He's not evil, just convinced that we're too dangerous to trust. What about allies? Choi asked. Trade Minister Quilana sees potential profit in human membership. A few smaller species might support us if they think we could protect them from the larger powers, but it's not enough. The next morning, the formal council session began. The great chamber was filled with representatives from 12 species, each stranger than the last. Floating platforms carried aquatic species in water-filled bubbles. Massive screens displayed crystal beings that communicated through light patterns. The diversity was overwhelming. Commander Choi and his officers took their places in the human section. Around them, alien eyes studied every move they made. Council Speaker Vorthak called the session to order. His skin was dark red, showing his anger even before he spoke. "We are here to consider the final application of the species called humans for membership in the Galactic Council," he announced. "The evidence against them is substantial." A holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed star maps highlighting human expansion into space over the past 50 years. "In just 5 decades, Vorthak continued, humans have claimed 12 star systems. They have built military bases throughout their territory. They have engaged in unprovoked attacks against Council vessels." Commander Choi stood up. "Speaker. Vorthak, I request permission to respond to these charges. You may speak." Choi activated his own holographic display. "Honored Council members, you call our expansion aggressive, but look at the facts. Every system we have claimed was uninhabited. We have displaced no one and destroyed nothing. You have built military installations," accused General Krex. "We have built defenses," Choi replied calmly. "After our scout, ships were attacked by pirates and slavers. We learned that this galaxy is not as peaceful as we had hoped." Councillor Vex spoke up. "You have stolen our technology." "We have studied wreckage from ships that attacked us," Choi said. "When someone tries to kill you, you learn from their weapons. This is called survival." Mystic Oracle. Thal floated forward on her energy platform. "Humans emit psychic discord. Your thoughts are chaotic and disturbing. You disrupt the harmony of civilized minds." Choi looked at her calmly. "Perhaps what you call chaos we call creativity. Perhaps what disturbs you is our refusal to accept that things cannot be improved." The session continued for hours. Each alien species presented evidence of human aggression or incompatibility. Commander Choi responded to each accusation with facts and logic, but he could see it was useless. The aliens had already made up their minds. Finally, Vorthak called for a recess. "The Council will deliberate for 1 hour. Then we will render our decision." As the aliens filed out, Ambassador Park approached Choi. "They're not listening," she said quietly. "I've been watching their body language and energy patterns. They decided weeks ago." Choi nodded grimly. "I was afraid of that." "What do we do now?" asked Engineer Namda. Choi looked around the chamber, studying the alien technology and defenses. "Now we prepare to show them what human diplomacy really looks like." Dr. Yoon checked her concealed instruments. "All systems ready, Commander." "Good. When they come back, they're going to give us their ultimatum. And then they're going to learn that humans don't accept ultimatums." An hour later, the Council reassembled. Vorthak's skin was now deep purple, almost black. The decision had been made. "The Galactic Council has considered the human application," he announced. "We find that humanity is incompatible with civilized galactic society. Your species is too violent, too aggressive, and too unpredictable to be trusted with Council membership." He paused, his 4 eyes focusing on Commander Choi. "However, we are not unreasonable. We offer humanity this choice. Withdraw all military forces from space immediately, accept permanent quarantine to your home system, and submit to Council oversight of all human activities. In exchange, Earth will be allowed to exist." The chamber fell silent. Every alien eye was focused on the human delegation. Commander Choi stood up slowly. His voice was calm, but there was steel in his words. "Speaker Vorthak, you offer us slavery and call it mercy. You judge us by standards you do not apply to yourselves. You speak of peace while mobilizing fleets to attack our colonies." He looked around the chamber, meeting the gaze of each alien representative. You want to see what humanity is capable of? You want to judge our worthiness based on strength? Very well. But understand this. We did not come here as supplicants begging for acceptance. We came as equals offering partnership. He activated his communication device. Dr. Yoon, initiate Protocol 7. Throughout the chamber, alien sensors began detecting massive energy buildups from the human ship. Hidden weapon systems came online, and the Baekdu's true nature was finally revealed. Now, Choi said quietly, let us discuss this again. Deep beneath the city of Seoul, in a facility that did not appear on any official map, Admiral Kim Hyun-soo stood before a massive viewing window. Behind the window was the most advanced warship humanity had ever built. To most eyes, it looked like an ordinary diplomatic vessel. It was sleek and white with gentle curves and no visible weapons. The perfect ship for peaceful negotiations, but Admiral Kim knew better. Hidden beneath that innocent exterior was enough firepower to level a planet. Admiral, said a voice behind him, the crew is assembled. Kim turned around. Commander Choi, Min-ho stood at attention, along with his senior officers. Kim had handpicked each of them for this mission. They were the best humanity had to offer. Gentlemen, ladies, Kim began, what I am about to tell you is classified at the highest levels. What we discuss here today must never leave this room. The officers nodded. They had all signed documents that would put them in prison for life if they revealed what they learned here. Kim activated a holographic display. The image of the ship appeared in 3 dimensions, rotating slowly. As it turned, sections of the hull became transparent, revealing the true nature of the vessel. This is the Baekdu, Kim said. To the outside world, she appears to be a diplomatic cruiser, but she is actually the most advanced warship in human space. Every system on this ship has been designed for one purpose, to show the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated. Dr. Yoon Hae-rin raised her hand. She was a small woman with brilliant eyes and a mind that could solve problems other scientists could not even understand. Admiral, what exactly are we being asked to do? The Galactic Council has given us an ultimatum, Kim replied. They want us to send diplomats to prove we deserve membership. But our intelligence suggests they have already decided to reject us. Some species are planning to attack our colonies whether we comply or not. Commander Choi stepped forward. He was a calm man who had never lost a battle or a crew member under his command. So we're going to show them the cost of underestimating humanity. Exactly, Kim said. The Baekdu will travel to Nexus Prime disguised as a diplomatic vessel. You will attempt normal negotiations, but if they refuse to treat us with respect, you will demonstrate what human ingenuity can accomplish. Lieutenant Commander Kang So-young studied the holographic display with professional interest. She was one of the best weapons specialists in the fleet, known for her ability to find the weakness in any defense system. Admiral, these weapon systems, yet I've never seen anything like them. That's because they're completely new, Kim explained. We've taken captured alien technology and improved it using human engineering principles. The results have exceeded our most optimistic projections. Engineer Nam Tae-hyuk was examining the propulsion systems. He was a genius with engines and power systems capable of making any ship faster and stronger than its designers had intended. Sir, this power output is impossible. How can a ship this size generate so much energy? Fusion reactors based on alien designs, but with human modifications, Kim said. Dr. Yoon's team found ways to increase efficiency by 400%. Dr. Yoon smiled modestly. We simply approached the problem differently than the aliens did. They focused on perfection. We focused on adaptability. Communications Officer Oh Ji-hoon had been studying the cultural files. He spoke 17 alien languages and understood the customs of dozens of species. Admiral, if we're going in disguise, we'll need to be very careful about our behavior. Some species can detect aggression through body language or pheromones. We've prepared for that, Kim said. You'll have cultural advisors and chemical suppressors to mask human stress responses. But remember, the goal is not to hide forever. If negotiations fail, We want them to understand exactly what they're dealing with. Kim walked to a secure terminal and entered a long series of codes. The holographic display changed, showing a weapon system unlike anything the officers had ever seen. This, Kim said quietly, is called the Equalizer. It is the most powerful non-destructive weapon ever created. I cannot tell you exactly how it works, because that information is restricted even from you. But I can tell you this. It can disable every ship in a star system simultaneously without killing a single crew member. The officers stared at the display in shock. Such a weapon would change the balance of power in the galaxy instantly. Why non-destructive? Asked Commander Choi. Because we're not monsters, Kim replied. The aliens think we are savage warriors who solve problems with violence. We're going to show them that true strength comes from having the power to destroy, but choosing not to use it. Over the next several hours, Kim briefed the crew on every aspect of their mission. They learned about the alien species they would encounter, the political situation on Nexus Prime, and the secret capabilities of their ship. The Baekdu was more than just a warship. It was a technological marvel that represented everything humanity had learned about warfare, engineering, and diplomacy. Its hull was made from materials that could adapt to different types of attacks. Its weapons could phase through alien shields as if they did not exist. Its computers could learn and counter new threats faster than any enemy could deploy them. But perhaps most importantly, the ship carried a crew that embodied the best qualities of humanity: courage, intelligence, creativity, and the wisdom to know when not to fight. One more thing, Kim said as the briefing came to an end. Intelligence suggests that several alien fleets are already moving toward human space. They may try to attack our colonies while you're negotiating. If that happens, your mission becomes even more critical. Commander Choi nodded grimly. We understand, Admiral. We won't let humanity down. I know you won't, Kim replied. The Baekdu launches in 6 hours. May fortune favor you all. As the officers left the briefing room, Dr. Yoon stayed behind. Admiral, are we sure about this? Once we reveal what the Baekdu can do, there's no going back. The galaxy will never see us the same way again. Kim looked out at the ship again. Doctor, for 30 years the aliens have treated us like children. They've told us we're too violent, too primitive, too dangerous to join their community. Meanwhile, they've been planning to destroy us if we become too strong. He turned to face her. It's time they learned that humans are not victims. We're not children who need their permission to exist. We're equals, and we have the power to enforce that equality. Dr. Yoon nodded slowly. Then let's show them what human engineering can accomplish. 6 hours later, the Baekdu departed Earth's solar system. To anyone watching, it looked like a peaceful diplomatic mission. But hidden within its hull was the power to reshape the galaxy. The aliens were about to learn that Earth had not sent diplomats. They had sent something far more dangerous, humans who were tired of being underestimated. Captain Lee Dong-woo stood on the bridge of his ship, staring at the massive alien space station in the distance. The station looked like a giant metal flower floating in space, with dozens of arms reaching out in all directions. Each arm belonged to a different alien race. This was Nexus Prime, the home of the Galactic Council. Lee had been waiting for 3 days now. His ship, the Soul's Pride, was not allowed to dock. The aliens said they were still deciding about humans. They had been deciding for 30 years. Captain, called his communications officer, we have an urgent message from Ambassador Park Soo-jin. Lee walked over to the communication station. The message was encrypted, which meant it was important and dangerous. He put on his headphones and listened carefully. Ambassador Park's voice was tense. Captain Lee, the situation here is worse than we thought. The Council has given us an ultimatum. Earth has 72 hours to send our best diplomats to prove we deserve to join them. If we fail, they will cut us off from the rest of the galaxy, forever. Lee felt his stomach drop. He knew what this really meant. The aliens were not just talking about isolation. Some of them wanted to destroy human colonies before humans became too strong. The message continued. But there's something else, Captain. I've heard rumors from my contacts here. Earth is not planning to send diplomats. They're sending something else entirely. Lee closed his eyes. He had feared this day would come. The Earth government had grown tired of being treated like children by the aliens. They had grown tired of being told they were too violent, too aggressive, too dangerous to join the galactic community. On the station, 12 different alien species met in a huge chamber. The chamber was designed so each species could feel comfortable. Some areas were very hot for the fire-breathing pyroids. Other areas were cold and dark for the ice-dwelling cryons. Some sections were filled with water for the aquatic nautiloids. Council Speaker Vorthak stood in the center. He was tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin that changed colors when he was angry. Right now his skin was deep red. "Fellow council members," Vorthak said, his voice echoing through translation devices. "We have debated the human question for 30 years. It is time to end this debate forever." Around the chamber, representatives from different worlds nodded or made sounds of agreement. Some looked like giant insects. Others looked like walking crystals. A few looked almost human, but with strange eyes or extra limbs. "The humans," Vorthak continued, "have shown us who they truly are. In just 50 years since they left their home planet, they have conquered 12 star systems. They have built military bases throughout their region of space. They attack our scout ships without warning." Trade Minister Quilana spoke up. She looked like a tall, blue-skinned human with silver eyes. "Speaker Vorthak, those were not attacks. Our ships entered human territory without permission. The humans were defending themselves." "Defending?" Vorthak's skin turned darker red. "They destroyed ships worth millions of credits. They took prisoners. They studied our technology without permission." General Krex slammed his massive fist on his seat. He looked like a walking boulder with glowing red eyes. "The humans are warriors, nothing more. They think only of conquest and destruction. We have seen their history. They have been fighting wars on their own planet for thousands of years." "All species fight wars," said Mystic Oracle Thal. She was a strange creature that seemed to be made of flowing energy. "What matters is whether they can learn to live in peace." "Can they?" asked Counselor Vex. He looked like a mechanical being, all metal and glowing circuits. "Their expansion into space has been aggressive. They take what they want. They build weapons that rival our own technology." Ambassador Park Soo-jin sat in a special section for non-member species. She was allowed to watch but not speak unless given permission. She had been fighting for human membership for 5 years now. Every day it seemed to get harder. "I request permission to address the council," she said. Vorthak looked at her with disgust. "Very well, but make it quick." Park stood up. She was a small woman, but her voice was strong. "Honored council members, you speak of human aggression, but you do not speak of human sacrifice. When the Pirate Confederation attacked the mining colonies of the gentlefolk, who came to help? Humans did. When the plague struck the agricultural worlds of the peaceful farmers, who brought medicine and food? Humans did. They helped because they wanted those worlds as allies." Krex growled. "They helped because it was right," Park replied. "This is what you do not understand about humans. Yes, we fight. But we fight to protect others. We fight to defend what is good and just." Vorthak's skin turned almost black with anger. "Enough, the human representative will be silent." The debate continued for hours. Some species thought humans might be useful as soldiers or workers. Others thought humans were too dangerous to trust. A few thought humans might bring new ideas and energy to the galaxy. Finally, Vorthak called for order. "We will vote tomorrow. But first we make this clear to the humans. They have 72 hours to send their most experienced diplomats to this station. These diplomats must convince us that humanity deserves membership. If they fail, we will vote to quarantine Earth permanently." "And if they succeed?" asked Quilana. "They will not succeed," Vorthak said coldly. "The evidence against them is too strong." After the session ended, Park Soo-jin returned to her quarters. She immediately sent an encrypted message to Captain Lee. Dongwu. Captain, they've made their decision. 72 hours for diplomats to arrive and convince them. But I don't think they intend to be convinced. Several species are already moving military ships closer to human space. I think they're planning to attack our colonies whether we send diplomats or not. Li received the message and felt a chill run down his spine. He had heard rumors that Earth was preparing something special, something that was not diplomatic at all. He looked out at the alien station again. Soon, everything would change. The aliens thought they knew what humans were capable of. They thought humans were just another aggressive species that could be controlled or destroyed. They were about to learn how wrong they were. In space, near the edge of human territory, a ship unlike any other was preparing to depart. It looked like a diplomatic vessel from the outside, but hidden within its hull were weapons and systems that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The ship was called the Baekdu, and it was not carrying diplomats.